Welcome back. It was a lackluster May weather-wise, to say the least, with many days of cool conditions where temperatures sat below seasonal. To better understand what happened, I'm joined by Canada's best-known weatherman, retired senior climatologist with Environment Canada, David Phillips. Dave, why all the cool weather in May this year?
Oh, Matt, it was miserable. Miserable May, I called it, you know? I mean, it was certainly cooler than normal, especially the afternoons. You know, there was not one day where the temperature got above 30. That often defines whether you have a summer month or not. Not in the last 15 years, I can only find 1 year where Hamilton, Burlington area, Niagara did not have a day above 30. And so that's about as miserable as it gets. But precipitation-wise, more wet days than dry days, and about 20% more precipitation than normal. So not really a washout. But Matt, I tell you what, the worst part of May were the weekends. We live for the weekends. And 10 Saturday, Sundays. Well, I'll tell you what, only one of those days was dry, and and of the 10, they were all cooler than normal except one, and it was like 20.2. So talk about crummy weather. I mean, it was the water torture test, and what happened? There was this large sort of cold low, a low pressure area just stayed still like an unwanted house guest. It wouldn't leave, and it just brought the same kind of miserable, repetitive weather day after day and week after week. And so it was really, let's write May off. It was nothing about it that we can like.
Now, we also kind of noticed anecdotally in the newsroom, it felt like the weather was really swinging from day to day. Like we'd have a cold day and then maybe we'd have a day that was up in the 20s. Does the data show that? Can you explain maybe why that was the case?
Well, it was, Mike. I mean, the fact that, Matt, the fact that you have you know, and when it changed, yes, you had maybe 1 day or 2 days that seemed all right, and then you're back into the misery again. So there's no consistency. Like this week, I think one of the good things about this week, we've changed the month and changed the weather. It looks like every day is going to be either normal or above normal. That wasn't the case in May. So it was just like the weather just spins around. It's like a roulette wheel, and it stopped on kind of a nice day, and then it moved, and you had a wet and cool day. And so it was just kind of almost a lottery of misery weather. You couldn't count on it. You couldn't wake up on Tuesday and say, hey, let's go golfing on Thursday, because the weather was going to change. So, hey, not nice. But as I say, this week coming up, we see nights are going to be warm, and yeah, we have a little bit of a problem with the haze, but it's not a breathing problems, but hey, and brilliant sunrises and sunsets, so there's a benefit of that. But hey, I think I think we see now a change of the month and a change of the weather, and right now that's good for it because we had such a crummy May.
Do you have any predictions for the rest of the summer? Are we going to have more of this? And also, in your answer, if you don't mind adding, these wildfires, are we going to get some smoke and haze like we did last summer?
Well, Matt, you know, I think that 2 years ago was the real bad one, and that's because we had a lot of fires in Nova Scotia, Quebec, and northeastern Ontario. That's all. We've had just no summer yet. So it's not been like the West, which has been too hot, too dry, and too smoky for too long. So I think that we're in good shape that way. It looks like that we're going to see 3 months, June, July, August, are going to be warmer than normal. So I would dare say people in Hamilton, Burlington, and Niagara region are maybe about 2 weeks from now, you're complaining about the heat and humidity. So, hey, warmer than normal and more humid. But, you know, Matt, and precipitation, always hard to get that right. But, Matt, I think what will define the summer is something we can't predict. It's the severe weather. And we get that in the summertime. You remember last July, we had a 60 or 70 millimeters of rain in 6 hours. It flooded basements and streets. I mean, that's really the surprise that we're going to see in the summertime. So, hey, you can say warmer and near normal precipitation, great for farmers and orchardists and people who depend upon good weather that way. But I think those sort of surprises in the sky are ones that will often define the summer. And we can't predict that 3 months in a way.
All right, that's weatherman extraordinaire David Phillips. Dave, thanks so much for being with us tonight.
You're so welcome, Matt.